Rise and shine, it's a brand new day. Ken and Ken take the stage, ready to play. Weekdays at 10, the cars on the scene. Coffee in hand, they're living the dream. Aggression in their voice, got the whole town awake. Bringing fire to the mic, make no mistake. Shows in the corner, spitting out facts. Dropping truth bombs, ain't holding back. Ken and Ken in the morning, feel the heat. From 10 a.m. CST, can take a seat. We live and loud, that break in the mind. Light up your speakers, crank up the sound. They're talking about life upside down. Opinions exploding like a sonic blast. In the studio, they're built to last. With passion and grit, they engage and ignite. Every single week, they're all force can fight. From sports to politics,
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Well, hello there, everybody, and welcome to Ken and another Ken here in a second. And we've got a broski, too. What's up there, broski?
Going on, Ken? I hope you had a Merry Christmas.
It wasn't too bad. Hopefully you had yourself a nice one.
We had an elimination yesterday.
That was entertaining. I want to know, how the hell do you not only get beat by a backup quarterback, but you get beat by a backup quarterback that threw for 3 yards? How? Fucking how?
Because the Detroit Lions are so good, Ken. That's how. And because they don't miss Ben Johnson, and they're just so amazing. They're everything they do is perfect. Their O-line's fine, and their D-line is great, and their secondary is awesome. And their offense, they have the best set of running backs in the league. And that's why, Ken.
The level of, I can't even talk today. The level of snark in here is just unbelievable.
But yeah, 6 turnovers. That's amazing.
Oh, I was going to say, so what you're saying is the cheer throughout the stadium was Jared's off. Jared's off.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show you, like, Max Broswell has no business being in the NFL, but if you don't turn the ball over, there's a good chance most games you're going to have a fighting chance to win. And, everyone can see how good Jared Goff is. I mean, those turnovers cost them. Yeah, but it was amazing.
It was amazing that my camera didn't want to work this morning. That's why I was delayed here a little bit this morning.
But yeah, Lions are done. Stick a fork in them.
Hey,
listening to Lions fans cope right now is hilarious.
What about the Chiefs last night almost pulling off the upset against Denver with the third-string quarterback? At a time, I saw the one play. I'm like, oh my God, it's Patrick Mahomes. Oh wait, no, it's the third string. So I was like, they actually made it a game when they weren't talking about is this Kelsey's last game in Kansas City.
Yeah, that one I didn't end up seeing any of. Who the hell even started for him at quarterback?
I can't remember the guy. He's been the backup, their 3 guy for like 2 or 3 years, whatever. But he was terrible for the most part. But he had a couple plays. I don't want to say he was terrible. Kelsey had a good game, and of course the entire game. Like, is this Kelsey's last game at Arrowhead? Is he going to retire? Blah blah blah. Taylor's in the house. Is this the last time she'll be here? Like, whatever, guys. But he had a pretty decent game. They played good defensively. What cost them was one penalty. They had one penalty the whole play, and it was Chris Jones. At the worst time of the game it could possibly have happened, he got the penalty. But they almost pulled it out. I was like, oh my God, because I saw the score initially. All right, 3-0 Denver. Okay, the first round was a field goal. It's just the game of the route. Next thing you know, it's like 9-9 or whatever it was. Like, holy crap. Yeah, I'm surprised. Like, where are our Lions fans at this point? They're normally here every day. Definitely took a step back. Coaching. It's coaching. It was more coaching than injury. So, I'd say injuries played a part, but coaching was the bigger piece, I think, this year for the Lions.
So what you guys are trying to say, if I'm understanding this correctly, is that when Dan Campbell had that press conference after the NFC Championship and says we may not get back here, he was just trying to tell the Lions fans prepare to suck again? Because
Dan telling
that's
it
what
like
I'm
it is.
picking up here.
Dan being brutally honest, you know.
Because
But
it
yeah,
is
I
hard
think
to
it's
get.
a lot deeper with the Lions than most people realize. I really do. I'm not sure Dan Campbell has that locker room anymore. You know, they need an OC, which means they're going to have to implement a new offensive system. They need a new DC. I don't care. You guys, Lions fans can support this Shepard guy all they want. He's in over his
I like
head.
Shepard.
They need to retool their O line. They need to retool their D line. They need to retool their entire secondary. They need to retool their tight end room. They're probably going to need a new number 2 running back. That's a lot of shit right there, and that's not all getting done in one offseason.
Well, I mean, okay, like I think I like Shepard. I mean, the difference between Shepard and AG, not bad actually. I like Shepard. He was a good DC for him. They had
Yeah,
a lot of
I
injury
will agree
issues.
with that too with Shepard.
They had a lot of injury issues that kind of mitigated his success, but I don't think they need a defensive coordinator. They definitely need an OC. No, I agree with that, bros. Running back wise, unless look at is Sonic and Knuckles getting broke up? No, it's clickbait. I don't see David Montgomery bouncing after one bad season in Detroit. Come on, look how many years he was in Chicago, and he was going to be happy to stay there. I don't see them needing a running back. Their 1-2 punch is still there. They just need an offensive coordinator. Now, offensive line, they need help, right? They need help. Their secondary has been trash. Well, trash-y or trash-ish or trash adjacent this entire time they've been in this run. I don't expect they'll do much with it. I think they'll do other things. I think they'll do offensive line. If they can fix their offensive line and find a good offense coordinator, that fixes probably 75% of their issues. I do agree, Broski, they need some help on defense, but I think
Yeah,
some guys.
and my thing is that even if
the
the DC thing aside, like the defensive coordinator thing aside, like Amik Robertson's probably gone. I don't think he's under contract anymore next year. But he's 5'8", 5'9". DJ Reed's 5'8", 5'9". He is still under contract next year. Kirby Joseph, like I keep saying this, and I've been saying it. This is a career-threatening injury. I'm not saying his career is 100% over, but what I'm saying is it is definitely career-threatening. And if he comes back, right, he's only going to be 80% of the player he was. And then it's like, how long is he going to last? Brian Branch not going to be there for at least half the season next year. Their cornerback room is atrocious. Anzo might be gone. Anzalone.
Right now they got 20 million cap.
They're a mess right now. Their D tackles are not very good. Like
So
they need a lot, man.
I mean, they got 20 million in cap right now, so they're gonna carry about 16 over. So they got 20 million in cap for next year. Plus, they're gonna get another 20 million in cap from the NFL, right? Now, if they don't do cuts, but let's say they do some restructures, they can restructure Goff, save 40 million. They can restructure Decker, save 10 million. They can restructure St. Brown, get 21 million. Sewell, they can restructure 15 million. A. McNeil, they can restructure 17 million. They can restructure DJ Reed, 10 million. As far as cuts, I know you're a big cut guy. If they do post June 1st, Decker saves them 18 million, but are they going to get rid of Decker?
No, I say it's Sean Dorn time. Cut them all.
Glasgow saves them 7, but they're probably not. He's the last guy they got left on their offensive line. Alan McNeil 4.1. So you're looking mostly at restructures. Brock Wright, they can save 4 million. They got a couple guys that can save $1 million here, $1 million there, whatever. They got 38 on the active roster. They've got plenty of money. The reason I do that is, oops. You think Glasgow may get cut, but depends. I would say that.
Yeah, Glasgow may retire along with Decker. They both might hang it up after the season.
Hey, Vinny, happy Friday. They've got money to do what they want to do or do what they need to do. But here's the problem. Yeah, Tesla. I mean, guy had like 2 amazing catches all year, and that's it. And it's a nice one-handed grabs you into it. Anything else for him? But I mean, what I was getting to is depending on what the free agency market's going to look like, and I haven't looked at what's coming up in free agency, and the Lions fans are starting to, because this is what Bears fans were doing at this time last year. Now we're not. Once I start looking at free agency, it depends what's going to be available for him. But look what last year, Broski and I both said we wanted Dahlman. We got Dahlman. Tooney was a surprise, right?
Yeah,
Jackson was a surprise.
big surprise.
So I would expect the Lions, who have draft capital and have money, will look to do what the Bears did this year in terms of their offensive line. But none of that matters if Morton Salt Company is still their OC. Because obviously Campbell doesn't have faith in him. He took his duties away. So they're going to fire him.
Ken, that's hilarious. You know why? Because I'm not even considering the fact that Morton can be back. How Lions of a move would that be, though, if they actually retain Morton? Holy crap, man. That would probably be the biggest Lions move of all time.
He's the architect of the offense. You got to keep him there.
Well, and here's the thing. Like yesterday with Goff, I don't even blame the offensive line for most of that shit was on Goff. Goff doing bad Goff things. Some of it was the old.
Yeah,
one quick thing there, Broski. I got a quick question that I'm asking for Mitch. Is Goff still number 3 overall?
Dude. Yeah, here's the thing. Like, the quarterback is the one to blame. And who knows if it was play calling that kind of helped or didn't help, I should say, because like one thing you got to know, especially if you're a veteran quarterback, right, is when your left tackle goes out of the game banged up, when you're starting to scrub center, when you have fill-in guards, like, dude, how do you mitigate that? You get rid of the ball quick. You have to change it. You have to get rid of the ball quick. And it's like Goff is holding on to that ball way too long. And as a veteran quarterback, whether that was the play call or not, you have to understand that and you have to make the adjustment.
Look at Lions fans always being so defensive. Yeah, I'm sorry. Was it the offensive lineman who threw the interceptions? Mm-hmm. Was it the offensive lineman who fumbled the ball before he even got hit?
Yeah.
Like Richard, I get it. You're trying to you're a Lions fan. Respect you, but dude, come on. Goff like fumbled the center exchange not once but twice. Threw the interception. That's not on the line. The line was terrible, but Goff didn't help yesterday. Goff had a bad day. You know what? Hey, and Richard, before you get mad at me, he's allowed to have a bad day. He is a human being after all.
I don't know if he's a human. I haven't seen many humans you can blind with a thumb.
He looked bad yesterday. He had a terrible day. Terrible day. The Lions really look at 3 things I said could happen this year, and Lions fans said I was crazy, delusional, and stupid. 1, the Bears would be a 6-10 win team and a dark horse for the playoffs. They said I was crazy. Well, guess what? 2, I said they would feel a difference with Morton Salt Company being the OC. Well, he was relieved of his duties halfway through the year. And what was the third one now? Shoot. It wasn't about the missing playoffs because I didn't predict that one. Because I actually gave them props. But there was a third one, and I just slipped. The third one, that their offensive line was in trouble with losing people like Frank the Tank retiring right before the season. That they're in trouble. They're like, no, we'll be just fine. Well, guess what? All 3 of the things that I said would happen happened. I was actually right. Miracles happen, but I just wanted to pull a Lions fan thing to see. I told you. Remember, there's some Lions fans. I told you this was going to happen. It happened. Just saying. Broski told you it was going to happen too in his own special way. Ken just nodded a lot, so he agreed with us.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And we can't forget John Dorn has been right the entire freaking time. They were the fool's gold Lions that turned back into the same old Lions.
And hey, the Lions gave Green Bay a Christmas present yesterday. They have now qualified for the playoffs by default.
Hey, the 2 greatest words in the English language: default.
Yeah.
That's a great question, and I say that it's the most overlooked coaching position by fans.
Ken, I am 1,010% with you on that one, because we had conditioning coaches before that were awesome, and we didn't see too many of the weird injuries. And then we have had ones that were atrocious, where you're damn near seeing the water boy pull a hamstring and be out for the year. So yeah, it is
Yeah, and I'll
hugely
tell you
important.
what, I'm definitely not disagreeing with you guys on that. That a conditioning coach is huge, especially in this modern age of football. But what I'm going to say for the Lions specifically, Brad Holmes does have a fetish, and he actually admitted it this year in one of his conferences because he said like he got in a car crash or something and got injured, and he has a special place for drafting injured players and signing injured free agents and giving them another chance. He drafts injured players or players coming off major injuries, and the turf also. Let's look at that. There's been a lot of Lions injuries in Detroit this year.
That's just
Can't
turf
say
in
100%
general.
if they're all turf related, but I don't think it's helping the case either.
Yeah, I think that JB has the numbers. I think we talked about in the summer. It's funny because we're talking in the summer how all these guys are going to indoor stadiums with turf, and there's even with this new almost grass turf, the injury rate on the turf is much higher than natural grass. So, but yeah, hey Brent, yeah, you're the conditioning coach, man. You guys need a new one of those too, maybe. Because teams go through this like all these injuries and they fire their conditioning coach, get a new one, all of a sudden they don't get injuries for a couple years. Like, whoa, how'd this happen? They who they need to hire my former nephew who works for the St. Louis Battlehawks right now. That's who they need that hire. Former Marine. Not come on, guys. You know. But as usual, Brent on point though. I mean, conditioning coaches are huge. And Green Bay might want to look at conditioning coach too. Like,
I'm 1000% with you. Granted, these guys that we have as the conditioning coaches now are a little better than what we had before, but I'm still not impressed in any way, shape, or form. You could tell me all those guys are getting fired at the direct end of the season, and I wouldn't freaking bat an eye. And we've
hey,
got to. Oh, there we go.
yeah, there he is. Nah,
Was that
there he
Joe?
is.
One of these
Hey,
days
Joe.
we'll get Joe.
What's up, guys?
What
Joe, I
up?
hope you had a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I did actually. I got a
But real
Brock
quick,
Bowers jersey for Christmas.
Hey,
Oh.
you got a jersey of the greatest tight end ever. That's awesome.
Did you get some Brock Bowers hand towels as well?
the playoff picture is set, but it's not in the NFC. The only thing that's on the only slot that doesn't have an X or a Z next to it is the 4 seed. Because Tampa, believe it or not, still, if Carolina loses, Tampa wins this week, they're tied again. And then week 18 will decide. Okay. Now, as for the rest of it, if the Seahawks lose and the Niners both lose this week, meaning the Bears win and whoever and Carolina wins, if the Bears and Carolina win this week, Bears go to the 1 seed. Green Bay, if they win, would still be behind San Francisco with a shot to move up to the 6th seed.
Screw it. Leave me at 7.
So,
I don't care. I don't care that much between either getting the 7th seed or the 6th seed.
I think the Bears' best chance of not having to play you 3 times in 6 weeks is for us to get the 1 seed and then push it off to 7 weeks, which some people would be happier seeing the Bears play the Packers in the divisional round because it's not going to be on Netflix or Amazon or any of the other weird ones. They'll actually be on regular TV where people can watch it. I do like the separation, but that's what it's looking like right now. But if things stay status quo, then it's pretty much set. In the NFC. In the AFC, excuse me. In the AFC, the 7th seed's still in dispute. Believe it or not, the Colts still have a shot. But if Houston wins this week, that's over. Baltimore, Pittsburgh. Now, Pittsburgh or if Baltimore loses the Packers, they're done, and that's set. The 1 seed, you still got New England. They could win this week, and make it interesting. But the 1 seed's the only thing going to be up for battle, really, possibly in in week 18, the final week. Yeah, Richard, 7 seed. You definitely are playing the Bears if we stay in the 2 seed. Definitely, that's why I'm trying to say. Well, it'd be nice if the Bears got the 1 seed so we can at least push it off a week.
I'd be okay for it being another NFC championship.
I don't think it could work that way with the bracket.
I was going to say it probably wouldn't shake out like that, but I'm just saying if somehow by a miracle it did, I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, because you'd be the lowest seed. So if you win if the Bears are the 1 seed and you win your wild card weekend, then we meet the divisional.
Mm-hmm.
But you're the lowest.
Yeah, the only chance of that happening is if we bump ahead of San Francisco, which, meh.
Richard's a Lions fan, I believe. All right? Yeah, it sounded like Lions. Oh, Luca, there you are.
Hey!
I just want to throw out there for all the heavily disappointed Lions fans, like that are disappointed that the Lions are not going to make the playoffs this year. Like, just look at yesterday as your playoff game. Like, no. And I'm going to say this like with all respect, right?
Oh,
like,
okay, because I thought you were trolling them hard with that one.
Do it.
No,
Do it.
I'm going to say this with all respect. Like, yesterday you saw what would happen if the Lions went to the playoffs this year. Like, they're just not that team that they were last year. And we've been saying it all year that there's something rotten in the state of Detroit, right? Like, there's something different about them. I don't know if it's the Ben Johnson hangover. I don't know if Dan Campbell's message is getting stale. I don't know if it's the death of that offensive line from last year that allowed Jared Goff to look like a superstar. Maybe it's a combination of all of these things. But the Lions, and I was thinking about this before I came on the show. Like, think about this. Like, there's more than one time this season where we were all talking as a panel about the Lions game, and we were like, "Is this a must-win game?" And we're like, "Yes, this is a must-win game for the Lions." And they lost most of those games.
I mean, there were times that this year where the Bears were a couple points, like where I'm driving to the top on the Tuesday show, like we did the rankings, and I'd have the Lions in the top 5 in the NFL, and they'd come out the next week and shoot themselves in the foot. And it's like they were kind of like Jekyll and Hyde somewhat this season. There were some games they were like, wow, really good. And like, yeah, they're back. This is the team that Lions team we've seen for the last 2.5 years. And then you got, okay, quote Dorn, same old Lions, right? And the thing I think is funny with some of the Lions fans in comments, and not saying any of the guys in our comments, but some of the other stuff I've been seeing, it's like, tell me you've only been a Lions fan for about 3 years without telling me you've been a Lions fan for only 3 years. Because like the old Lions fans, like they're upset. They didn't make the playoffs, but they know how the league works. And like, we had an off year, no big deal. The house is on fire. We don't have to torch it all. You know, we don't have to go full broski on them. Like Broski basically said, get rid of the whole team and bring in a new one. Pretty damn near close in his assessment. He's not.
Yeah, I mean, Ken, you're being a little snide right now, and that's not true, Ken, because my predictions came true, Ken. Like, I know you're upset because mine came true and yours didn't, but the Bears did get 4 new offensive linemen, like I predicted, Ken. They also got 2 new starting defensive linemen, like I predicted, Ken. Okay, Kaminaga is the shit, like I predicted, Ken. So, let's just pump the brakes before you start making these little snide Broski comments. And let's also, Ken, 2026, let's stop cutting everyone off when they talk, Ken. Because literally every time someone says something, you're jumping in. So let's pump the brakes a little here. Thank you.
Hey,
Ken, because you're going to cut someone off, then you're going to trail off on some comments and just go in 12 different directions. Stop doing that.
Broski, let him.
Took this in a direction.
I kind of want to hear out. I kind of wanted to hear out what he's going to say because I don't think he was actually. I don't think he was actually shitting on you.
I wasn't. You just took it in a direction it wasn't.
Hold on. Let's let him finish.
I was saying, like, before you guys go full broski and rip out the whole house and buy new carpet. Well, those are the guys who've been Lions fans for 3 years. Are like, get rid of this whole team. They're all terrible now. Real Lions fans know that. Look, they need to fix some things. Most of what Broski said. See, so Broski let me finish it. But they don't have to gut the house, tear out the carpeting, take it down the studs, and rebuild it. They've got some good pieces there, right? And most of what Broski says you need. I don't think you get rid of Laporta, need to redo the tight end room. I don't think you need to redo the running back room. You definitely need to redo your offensive line.
Hold on,
You
I do
definitely
want
need to redo the tight end room.
Yeah, I want to push back on the Laporta thing a bit because the injury that he had, that one has a good chance of being a career ender. I'm not saying it absolutely is, but a good chance.
Right. Yeah. So
Same thing with Brock Wright. Same thing with Brock Wright.
You need to wait and see, but you don't need to. You might not need to do a total rebuild right now, but you definitely need to bring something in. But it's not like you're without nothing there. If Laporta comes back, even if he doesn't, your backup's at least a good starting point to build upon. So I mean, they're not bereft of talent. They're not going to be a one-win team next year, I don't think. We'll see what they do in the offseason. But you can tell the brand new Lions fans, because these are the guys who are complete, absolute freak out mode. The guys who've only been watching the Lions since they started to get good 2.5 years ago, and then watched the playoff run, the NFC Championship. They're like, wow, I'm a diehard Lions fan now. And those are the guys who just hopped on the Lions bandwagon, who are now in complete freak out mode. Whereas guys like Brent are like, yeah, we got to fix some things. Yeah, Morton wasn't it. Yeah, the offensive line definitely needed the help. Yeah, we know our safeties are trash, but that's an acceptable risk because of our D-line. But our D-line had some injury issues and some issues that we need to fix. So, like Broski gives a very long grocery list, which in a perfect world maybe you do. But being that this is the NFL and resources are finite, I would think my take is they're going to, first and foremost, look at the offensive line. Then they're going to look at the D-line, and then they're going to say, okay, what tight end help can we get? What safety help can we get? But they're probably the end of it.
Right. And my list is just like the complete list. I'm not suggesting they get this done in one offseason because I don't think they can. And that's part of my point. Like the Lions are done. They're toast, man. Like they're not going to be relevant again for a while. They're going to have to turn over like the majority of their team in order to be relevant again.
If they make that offensive line right, though, Broski, they are going to be relevant again. If they can get that offensive line right and a new OC, those two things happen, they'll be relevant. Because look at the Bears.
I think their offense.
Well, look at the Bears, they're like 3 or 4 years. We had we had a lot of offensive scoring talent. Even with Fields, we had Fields who could at least run the ball.
Right.
He could get you a good deep ball, but we had terrible scheming. And even year one of Caleb, terrible scheming. Even though he had a bunch of talent with him. And this year, you fix the O-line and get a confident, offensive-minded head coach, and look at the difference it makes. So, really, if they can fix their O-line, they've got some studs on offense.
The offense is much closer to being like very good because of that. But I'm saying, like, what's been holding the Lions back? It's always their defense. Their defense, to me, is even further off than last season. And also, if Dan Campbell really has lost the locker room, as long as he's there, they really are going to be irrelevant.
I don't know if he's lost the locker room. I haven't really seen that yet. But I'm not looking at their locker room.
Maybe their grit slogan should now be shrimp and grits. Because it's not grit anymore. It's shrimp and grits.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there. It's kind of a spicy meatball, but I think the Lions should be looking for Jared Goff's replacement in the draft this year. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and say, like, they had 6 turnovers yesterday, 5 or 6 turnovers, and 4 of them were on Goff. Like 3 interceptions and a fumble. Like, when is it okay to say, like, Jared Goff, is coming back down to earth? Like, he had an incredible run with Detroit when they had that elite offensive line, but once those guys retired at the end of last year, like, he hasn't been the same. He had some high moments this year for sure. And I'm not saying that he needs to leave the building right now, but I'm definitely shopping for a replacement in the late first round. Like maybe, jump back in at the end of the first round and take a chance on a guy.
there were Lions fans when they drafted Hooker who thought Hooker was going to be the Goff replacement, that Goff shouldn't be around that long. And that when Goff got his contract, there were Lions fans who were actually really mad.
Mhm.
And I even said, like, a lot of us said he's an overrated guy because, yeah, he was okay for the one season in LA, but he's prone to make mistakes in big games. And we've seen it. Broski said, I've said it, Ken. I think we've all said it,
Yep.
right?
I was
And
gonna
the
say
thing
I
is,
used to watch his games when he was with the LA Rams because one of my ex's fathers was a huge Rams fan, and he pretty much looks like the same guy. Granted, he is more polished, but you still got the same problem of once you hit him in the mouth a time or two, he just turns into a freaking pumpkin.
with as much, and here's the thing, like, this is not an out year for Goff. The year after is, right? So 26, they're stuck like Chuck. They could do, like, if they do a restructure, they can save 40 million though. So I can see them trying to draft a quarterback somewhere in the draft. I don't know if you do that this year or next year, to be honest with you, because they need so much O line help. And I think it depends on partially what they do in free agency, right? Like, can they? Because look, there's going to be some good offensive line help that they're going to be able to get in free agency. There's always at least one or two that you can snag, like some team up against the cap that just doesn't have the money, whatnot, or there's going to be a trade they're going to be able to pull off, right? But I don't know if with this draft class, I don't know if where they're drafting a quarterback is feasible. That's the other thing. I don't know if a quarterback is feasible in the draft for where they're drafting this year.
Oh, there's plenty of guys, Ken, that are they may not they may not be like first round talents, but that could that have potential. Like Carson Beck, for example. Like Carson Beck, he to me is he looks like he's going to be about a Jared Goff level player. Like, and he's won national championships. He's he did a good job with Miami. Like he's a good quarterback. He's just not. He doesn't have the elite traits that a first round top
Well,
10 guy has.
he doesn't run the ball. I mean, he's not a mobile. Everyone, in Lions fans, he's
Neither
mobile.
does Goff.
He's not. He's as
Right?
mobile as Aaron Rodgers. Like, Aaron Rodgers might be more mobile.
There you go. I will still take a old decrepit, just crawled out of his coffin Rodgers to run better than Goff.
Goff, like, they're stuck with him for next year. I don't know. I think they'll survey the landscape, and I think a quarterback may be something not this draft but next draft if they can't fully address the O line.
Hold
I
on.
think
I just had
they're smart enough to see what, like, look at the Bears. Like, we had years we were terrible. We could have been much better if we had just addressed the line first.
I just had a terrible idea, and none of us are gonna like it, but it would make sense. What if it's Mac Jones that goes over there? I think he could be dangerous with that offense.
No, it won't happen. You know why? Because of the money situation with Goff. You don't have two high-paid quarterbacks on the roster when you got so much to pay.
Well, I still don't think that Mac's going to be super high paid.
He's going to be more than the normal backup quarterback. He's going to want starter money because he could probably go to Indianapolis and they'll offer him a lot more money because he's going to be the starter for at least maybe the first quarter to half a season. And once that happens, he might keep the job.
Or there's a chance that he could actually just get a starting job outright. I mean, there's going to be some teams that are getting rid of quarterbacks, and he flashed in San Francisco. Like, and there's always look at Daniel Jones. Like, before he blew out his Achilles, like people were talking about how he went to the Colts, and all of a sudden he's going to get a big contract. Like a starter, another contract like the Giants gave him, right? Like, so Mac Jones could get a contract like that. I'm not saying he's going to make Jordan Love money, but he could get somewhere like Geno Smith money, like 35-40 million a year.
Maybe. But Big Rich, yeah, there's no way in hell that New York is moving off from Jackson Dart. I live here in the New York area, and every Giants fan that I know absolutely loves this kid. Anything that I hear coming out of that organization is how much they love him. I don't see them moving on from him whatsoever.
I like Richard here. Still the number one scoring offense with suspect offensive line and OC problems, and now we need a complete overhaul. Did happy hour start early?
Wait, are we allowed to start happy hour early?
Well, you and I can start it whenever we want.
Hey,
Oh,
but I
shit,
just
don't
want
tell
to
me
point
that.
I just want to point out his username is Richard Head, aka Dickhead.
Yeah, I mean, any Lions fan who's like just gonna like, you know what I mean, like say that and then just not look at like, do you not watch the games? Like you've been outrushed. You've had futile rushing yards 2 weeks in a row, and you have been outrushed big time 2 weeks in a
We've
row.
had some-
And
we've had
this
career
isn't the
kids-
only games this season that's happened. Like
You've had career gigs
that.
with kids do a few
Yeah, I
Jameer
mean that
Gibbs.
O line, the turnovers, like, come on, man. Like, what are we talking about? Amon-Ra just dropping pass after pass. Like, he better hope that hand heals up the right way.
Well, we've been
Like-
saying it all year long with this Detroit offense. If you can stop their running game, their offense falls completely apart.
And let's not kid ourselves. They put up a lot of points and yards against shitty teams or teams that were shitty at the time.
Well, like
They
the
didn't,
Bears
you know,
game,
like
too. They put up a ton of yards and points on a bad week 2 Bears team. I mean, in week 1, was horrible for them. Week 2, they looked like they got it right. They put up big yards against a Bears team that wasn't right yet. They had a lot of their stuff was early in the season, but then once we got to the middle and the end of the season, it was massive drop off, and they definitely need to overhaul their offensive line. That they need a gut job overhaul, whatever you want to call it. Depending on Laporta's injury situation, I think their tight end situation is not as bad as the offensive line, because if you lose Laporta, look, good players retire, get lost all the time. They're going to have to address it. It's not like the rest of the tight end room is terrible, but you're taking one of the top tight ends in the league, and now he's not there, so you need to do something.
But
may
Kenny,
not-
that's my point. It's their top 2 tight ends. So if you have to replace your top 2 tight ends, I would call that a tight end room overhaul. Because like there's a chance Brock Wright has a career-ending injury as well with his trachea. So I mean,
Yeah, we'll have to wait
Yeah.
and see on that. If those guys come back, if one or both comes back, it's not a gut job, and I think at least one of them will come back. That would have to be the worst luck in the history of mankind to have 2 career-ending injuries to both your tight ends in one season. I mean,
Well,
what
we
are
are talking about the
I'm
line.
just saying we're talking
They
about
haven't
the
been
lines,
known
but
for having
it is
best
what has
luck in the
happened. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying they're both careers are definitely over, but no, they are career threatening. Like when you have that back surgery, if you're Laporta, when you have that trachea surgery, if you're Brock Wright, those are career threatening. That's all I'm saying.
yeah. So we won't. Yeah, but their offensive line is probably priority 1. I would say
I don't look at the Lions as a complete gut job. Like I don't think you have to tear it down to the studs. There's pieces there, but I think that you have to be strategic about it. Like I agree with Broski that I think the offense is a lot closer than the defense, but I would definitely look into finding a replacement for Jared Goff, not to start this year, but like get the guy in the building, get him familiar with let him sit and hold a clipboard, let him watch Goff for a year so he can learn what not to do in most cases. And
when Sewell went down yesterday for a couple seconds there and didn't get up right away, Lions fans everywhere going, "Oh, not him too." This was that kind of year for them. The last 2 years that's why the strength and conditioning coach that Brent asked earlier, man, it's like, dude, they need to do that too before anything, because the last couple of years, man, they had a lot of injuries in Detroit, and it's not just gameplay. It's got to be. I would agree that strength and conditioning probably plays a huge part in their issues, and that's something that needs to get fixed for them. I mean, if I look between them and the Vikings, and I say who's closer to being a playoff team next year, the Vikings, if they can get a quarterback.
Yeah.
If they can get a healthy quarterback, they're more in. They've got a stronger team both sides of the ball right now. Look, we saw that defense yesterday. Vikings defense did yesterday. Oof. I mean, and that was without Grenard.
I'll tell you what,
The
if they
Vikings
can keep
defense
Brian
did-
Flores there next year, I agree with what you're saying. They do have they're more complete on both sides of the ball right now than the Lions. And if they can retain Brian Flores, like if he doesn't go get a head coaching job somewhere, which is going to be difficult with, less attractive to teams with his pending lawsuit.
Oh, no,
Not that it can't happen, but overall point, yes, the Vikings are more complete both sides of the ball than the Lions. They need that quarterback.
Flores is going nowhere while that court case is hanging. He's going nowhere
We'll,
until that court
we'll
case.
see.
So the second he does, he just nuked his own court case. I mean,
Yeah,
we've been talking
for
about
sure.
this for a year and a half. He's not going anywhere until that court case is done. And then every year
Yeah.
there's opportunity, and he knows he's going to get one. So he's fine biding his time and maybe chasing a ring with the Vikings right now. But I mean, the thing about the Vikings, though, they also have the coaching side answered on both sides of the ball. The Lions don't. They both need to look at strength and conditioning coaching.
Yeah.
But the Lions, honestly, their offense, if they can fix that line, they're going to score lots of points. That's going to help the defense. And that defense really, Hutch wasn't Hutch this year, right? But I think part of that was because the rest of the line wasn't as good. So if they can address both sides of the trenches, they've always been not cared about the secondary. They throw like cheap band-aids at it, and they'll continue with that because if they can fix the trenches, they'll be competitive enough to be dangerous.
Yeah, but back to Flores, like the thing is, like his court case, it's not guaranteed that he's going to win. And then money talks. So if he's offered like a 5-year, $15 million a year, so like $75 million contract, like he might just punt on the court case and be like, okay, I'm getting paid either way.
Mhm.
I mean, I see that piece, but like, I think he has a look at the way the NFL keeps trying to fight it. I think he's going to get a little something out of it, and he knows he's a good enough coach. He knows that the offer is going to be there every year. He's going to get because as long as that defense keeps performing, and he does it consistently enough with that defense, even with the injuries they had. Look at yesterday's game, another statement game by Flores. Like he's gonna get a job, whether it be if it was this year or next year. He's always gonna have offers with big money. I think he's one of those coordinators right now, kind of like Ben Johnson was before he decided to become a head coach. He's like he knew he could wait a year and he was going to be the belle of the ball. And I think Flores knows he can wait a year or two even and still be the belle of the ball as long as he keeps doing what he's doing on defense. And when he does it without guys like Gennard, who's arguably one of the better defensive edges in the game, and I mean, I don't think he's in it. I don't think he's in any rush. He knows he's going to get paid. But you're right, Broski. Someone can come say it and just, well, I'm going to way overpay you because I want you now. I don't want to wait in a court case, and I need you now. It would have to be an oh wow moment where he would have to figure it'd be more than if he won the court case and he got a get.
Yeah, it could happen.
Good.
I think that looking at it, did the Vikings defense play inspired yesterday? Absolutely, but I don't think that's if that's what you take away from it. I don't think that's what we really saw. What I think we really saw was the Detroit Lions just implode. Like they had one of the worst games of the season. Like they were playing against Max Brosmer, and the best they could do was 13 points, dude. Like, come on, that's not. Oh, the Vikings just played too good. No, like the
Vikings played
Jared
their
Goff,
normal, solid defense, but the Lions were so bad yesterday. It made what is a very good, normal Vikings defense look like, wow, best defense in the league.
it made them look like the 2000 Ravens yesterday,
Yeah.
dude. Like,
Yeah.
and that's my point. Is like Jared Goff torpedoed the Lions yesterday, dude. Like, I'll go ahead and say it because if you look at those picks, they were ugly picks. They weren't like, oh, the guy just made a tremendous play on the ball. Like they were off, and
it bounced off my receiver's hands. Yeah.
it was, man, it just looked ugly, dude. And
Hey,
I'm not shitting on the Lions. Like I do think that the Lions still have pieces, but I just think that a semi rebuild is in order. Like you have to at the very least rebuild your offensive line. Probably get it, add some pieces to your defensive line. And I personally think that you've seen the best of Jared Goff in Detroit. So I would be looking for his replacement.
Yeah. And Joe, another thing that kind of overshadows it.
Not only have they lost back to back, but now they've lost back to back. Go ahead.
Yeah, and another thing that like it kind of like throws people off when they look at like what the Lions really need to do to get back to where they were like 2 years ago and last year. It's like they do have good skill position players on offense. So people see, oh, they have Jahmyr Gibbs, they have Jameson Williams, they have Amon-Ra St. Brown, they have Goff. Maybe Laporta does come back and he's still good. Like, so they see that. They don't really get much deeper into it than that. It's like, oh, you really do need like 2 new starters on the O line. Oh, you need 2 new starters, possibly 3 on the D line. Oh, you need like literally like 3 new cornerbacks and possibly 2 new safeties. Oh, Anto goes, you need another linebacker because Barnes is absolute dog shit. Like, you know what I mean? So and then that's not even bringing up the coaching. So I just think the problems are a lot deeper in Detroit, and I expect them to be holding it down in the basement for the next few years.
Let them not fix the O-line this year, JB, and yeah, Goff is going to be part of the problem. I mean, Goff, like I said, Goff, like if you can protect him, like any other starting quarterback in the league that you give protection to, he will pick you apart. And I would say he's better than most at doing that, though, in that situation. I'll give him his credit. But the guy, the mobility issue with him and some of the headspace issues that's been an issue with him since he was with the Rams is still there. Right? You fix the O-line and you give him proper protection, and he's like any other quarterback. This is true for any quarterback, whether it be Caleb or Aaron or whoever. Without a good O-line, they're going to struggle. Goff, I think, though, like the way I can knock Goff in a way is compared to other quarterbacks who have that issue, he's more prone to the big mistakes than some other guys are. And that's been a knock on him since he was with the Rams. That predates his time with the Lions. And that was something like you would hope that maybe with time would be better. But honestly, it doesn't look like it has been. It's like,
it's almost like you're seeing why McVay wanted to go to Stafford instead of him.
Yeah.
There's certain quarterbacks in the league that just do well when they're pressured, right? Like you look at a guy like Patrick Mahomes, like you pressure him, he gets better. He makes those throws, right? And I'm not saying Goff has to be Mahomes, but I'm just using Mahomes as an example. There's other examples, Stafford, right? There's Jordan Love, like, I think we were just talking about how against the blitz, he's like one of the best quarterbacks in the league, right? Like in the NFL, you're going to get pressured. There's going to be games where you're going to get pressured on 50% of your dropbacks. The problem that the Lions have is that when Goff is one of those quarterbacks that when he's pressured on 50% of his dropbacks, yesterday's performance is what you get. They need somebody who's better under pressure, especially with the offensive line issues that they have. Now, if you go out and you rebuild that elite offensive line that you had last year, okay, then you can let Goff do what he did last year, right?
Let me back JB up though a little bit though. I think it's twofold. Part of it's what we're talking about with the offensive line and protection. The other piece is the play call. Because even if your offensive line is a little bit dog shitty, right? If you have good play call for your routes, for your receivers, tight ends, whatnot, and you've got great places for him to go when that happens, then yeah, he can still be. He's better than most. But the problem is this year, not only was the line bad, but the play calling was bad in terms of what Lions fans had in the past, and that kind of like hurts him too because he had nowhere to go this year. In years past, he would have places to go even when the roof was starting to cave in from the flames. He could still find an escape. This year, those escapes weren't there. So he's probably. I don't think he has to go. I think they're stuck with him next year, regardless. Would it be smart to do what the Packers did with Jordan Love for them? I think yeah, it might be. In the worst case scenario, you're just gonna have a really good backup. They should look for a quarterback, but really their biggest issues right now is that O-line and the offensive coordinator and their strength coach.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Like, if you're a team that wants to win a Super Bowl, you have to ask yourself some tough questions. And one of those tough questions is, do we have the guy under center that we believe can win us a Super Bowl? Now, Jared Goff has been to a Super Bowl and he didn't play very well. Like, I'm just gonna say, like, and then he's been to the playoffs and like they lost to the Niners, they completely folded in the second half. And then I don't know. I just don't I think Goff is a very good quarterback when he's on, but I think he's kind of Dakish to me in the sense that he puts up these incredible numbers, but when it's when it's a game that you have to win, he's losing them, and he
So
just
he's like Kirk Cousins and Dak Prescott.
I don't think that Goff, in my honest opinion, Goff is not a quarterback that's going to win a Super Bowl in his career. Like I don't care where he goes. I just don't think that that's his ceiling. And I think the Lions should ask themselves that question: like, do we honestly believe that Jared Goff is going to win us a Super Bowl? Because if you don't, then it's time to find the guy who is. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
And Joe, what have I been calling them Dak and Jared Goff all since the offseason? I call them Jared Prescott and Dak Goff, like the same guy.
I mean, with Goff, like there's no immediate. You're not going to get rid of him this year because of the contract, right? So next year you're probably stuck with him. The year after next year, though, you have freedom of movement. So wouldn't it be a bad idea to hit the replacement if you don't use your first round pick on O-line? Maybe you do get the quarterback, or you get a quarterback early or somewhere in the second, and they've got some capital. They can do some moving around. It's hard to die for them. It's really hard. It depends on they've got some money possibilities where they can free money up too, so they're not like dead in the water by any stretch of the means. They can still do a lot. The question is, how much is Brad Holmes going to want to spend to do it, and then what kind of are they going to get creative and maybe make. Because they could still be right back in if they do a couple things, right? Like you get the new OC. Let's say they get a new OC. We'll have to wait and see what that OC is good or not, right? But player-wise, they're positioned where they could do some things that make us all go, oh. Kind of like the Texans pulled off the double first-round pick, right, a couple years ago. They can do some stuff like that. They've got enough capital and stuff they can play with that they can really quickly fix this. Enough where they'll be back and being a contentious team. And,
they'll be back in the playoffs, but
yeah.
Will Jared Goff be taking them to the Super Bowl is the question, and I just don't see it.
If you do that though, and Goff doesn't win MVP, he's not Aaron. I don't think he was. Now you can do what the Packers couldn't do with your backup, the guy you draft, right? You can let him sit behind Goff for a year, that low back of the first round draft pick, early second round pick. No pressure to play him next year. Let Goff go. They have a good year. Maybe they make the playoffs or just miss, right? And now you can either trade Goff off or let him go and bring the new guy in. And if you trade Goff off because he's a decent year, maybe you get a little more for him. So, I mean, they've got some things they can do, but they're kind of stuck with Goff for next year because of the money. Like, they really are.
Yeah, I agree. They're stuck with Goff next year. But I think they could use their mid-first round pick, which they're going to have somewhere in the middle in the teens. They could use that on an offensive lineman if they really want to, and then just trade back up into the end of the first round and pick up a quarterback so that you get the 5-year, you get that 5th-year option on them. Like, there's plenty of guys. There's a couple guys who are graded out as like second-round picks that you could kind of reach for, but it's not a huge reach. Like, you're not drafting them at 1 overall. Right. Like I said, Carson Beck. There's Nussmeier from LSU. Like, I think Drew Aller is more projected, I think, in like the 3rd or 4th round, but there's projects out there.
We've only got a few minutes left, so I want to get off Detroit here for a moment. Because we're going to have a whole show about Detroit right after us, too. Because guess what? This was just Thursday game. We still got the whole weekend to go. And Barry, how fortuitous to see your name. Packers Ravens. Let's take about 2 minutes on that one. Then we'll spend about 2 minutes on Bears Niners. With now the Lions being out, is there really, do the Packers even care as much? I mean, for the Ravens, it's a huge game. If they lose, they're done. Do the Packers care enough to play spoiler, or do they not care right now?
I don't think it's the whole anything near do or die type of mentality, but I don't think they're just going to rest guys either. I think kind of wants to go into the playoffs. on a little bit of a winning streak. So I definitely think that he's going to be trying to win these games, and we will get most of our starters unless a guy's like, well, he can play type of thing, then we'll shut him down. Other than that, what I'm hearing is Jordan Love looks good to go. Malik Willis is good to go.
Did he
Josh,
make it out of concussion protocol?
he hasn't been officially announced through the concussion protocol yet, but everything shows that he's trending for it.
Yeah, but it's
Eh,
just a concussion
Yeah,
protocol.
yeah. That's why I said it seems likely. Josh Jacobs is completely off the injury report now, and I wouldn't be surprised if we kind of ride him out a bit.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Dorn still has a hell of a point. At least for this game,
Well, I was
the
going to
NFC
say that.
North
I
is
was just
still up
waiting
in
for
the
you
air.
to be done. Yeah, I was waiting for you to be done. I was going to say, like, for the Packers, like, there's no impetus, but at least for this week, there's impetus because they still have a shot at winning the North. Now, if you lose or the Bears beat the Niners, then week 18 against the Vikings might be more of a wrestling kind of thing. That there is a possibility there, depending on what the Bears do. If the Bears win, it becomes a moot point, or if you lose, it becomes a moot point. But yeah, I would like right now. I wouldn't bet on Love yet. I would assume until told. This is the way I look at it. I assume Love is out until told otherwise. The concussion protocols can be weird, man. We think they're training good. Oh, they're doing some light football activities. Oh, but they're not cleared yet. And that happens for 3 or 4 weeks. And we're like, what the hell? They've been living in practice for 3 weeks. Why aren't they cleared yet? Concussions are a weird animal. The way
I was gonna say we'll hear today though whether he's clearing it
we
or
should,
not.
yeah, we
Mhm.
should hear today.
Even if he's not
How's
cleared,
Dak go?
I'm feeling good with Malik Willis if I'm the
Yeah,
Packers. Like,
Malik showed he can play
Malik
good
Willis
football.
go. I think they'd be good with him too with that. And Hunter Willis, what a man, two of the best backups in the league going. I mean, that's gonna be fun. The Bears got the Niners, a team held together by duct tape and bubble gum, but man, they make that duct tape and bubble gum work good. In Santa Clara, Sunday Night Football in America. Broski, what are your thoughts on the Bears Niners?
Yeah, I think the pressure is finally off the Bears. I think they, were finally, even though playing with house money, like when they play the Packers, they do feel the pressure a little bit. And then, they clinched the playoff berth. They clinched, they beat the Packers. Monkey's kind of off their back. I think they go out there, they play free and loose. And I think they forced Purdy into, 2 or 3 turnovers. And, it's gonna be it's a Bears game. It's gonna be a close game, but I see the Bears pulling this one out at the end.
We will do a House Call at 11 a.m. Central, noon on the East on Sunday too to preview this game some more. Yeah, I mean, I think we've been playing free and loose for most of the season. To be honest with you, I think this whole year was like the pressure wasn't really on the Bears per se. Like no one expected them to be where they are, so they just keep proving themselves they can do things. And every week, people say, "Oh, the Bears can't win. The Bears can't win," and then they go out and they win. That's been their operas mirandi all year. I use a big fancy term. I agree with you, Broski. The pressure is off, though, even more so. There's no pressure. Now it's like, can we get the number 1 seed? Like, can we do it? Now let's just find out. The Packers, same thing. They don't really have pressure. Yeah, winning the division would be nice, but you know what? Whether you go as a 2 or the 7, the only thing that changes is the venue. And I don't know if the Bears and Packers, if the venue matters, to be honest with you. Because if you look at the last 2 years, each team is 2-2. We're 2-2 against each other for the last 2 years, and guess what? We win at their house. We're 1-1 at their house. They're 1-1 at our house. So I don't know if it really. Of course, it's fluky, John. Of course, you'd say that. I don't know if the venue would make much of a difference to either team, to be honest with you.
Shit, I don't care if we play this game in the parking lot.
Yeah. So I mean, I think if the Packers think, hey, I have a shot at the division, that'll matter to them this week. The Bears, hey, if we can, we can. I mean, we'll know how Seattle did, right? Seattle's earlier. I mean, if Seattle, especially if Seattle loses to Carolina, hey, we can be the number 1 seed if we win out. There's a little something there. But with what Ken said, like if you can rest them, like that's what we did last year with Vernon, last week with Vernon, and with with Rome. Like they probably both could have gone if they really had to, but we kind of knew. So, guys, the day after Christmas, it flew. JB's up in about 20 seconds. Don't forget, Backer Boys are on tonight at 7 p.m. Central, right? Yeah. Bears show at 11 a.m. Central Sunday. Enjoy your Friday after Christmas for those who have the day off. Those at work, sorry, man. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a great one.